you're in the right place for the best in TV. Right here on DSTV.
Everywhere, GBS.
This program has been made.
And we really enjoy it when you interact with us. I'd like to remind you of the ways that you can be able to be together with us as we have this live show. The SMS line to use is 21144. We're also live on Facebook and YouTube. The channel is GBS Kenya. And please remember to subscribe so that you can be able to watch even the previous shows. So in studio with me today, I have quite a few guests, and I'm so excited about today's topic. Before I tell you what the topic is, I'd like to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. I'll start with the lady at my extreme right. Welcome.
Thank you, Anne. My name is Drasila, and I am a self-love blogger, authenticity blogger, and a life coach. Yeah, happy to be here.
Welcome to the show. It's really great to have you with us, and I look forward to hearing more about your story. The lady next to you, welcome.
Hello, hi. Thanks for having me. My name is Naomi Ngosi. I'm a fearless influencer, and I'm a branding and image consultant.
Welcome.
Thank you.
The gentleman?
My name is Victor Muni, pastor, author, creative consultant, and fun-loving human being.
Even just, you see, we're already happy to be in your presence. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank
and the
you so
lady?
much for
Hi, my name is Faith Kitome. I'm an entrepreneur and a music artist as well.
Welcome to the show, Faith.
Thank you.
We're so glad you came. Yeah, so today's topic is my life, my thinking. And we're basically going to be talking about how the life that we have is actually a sum total of the thoughts that we are accepting in our lives and believing. So, yeah, my life, my thinking. Welcome to the show. All right. Thank you so much. I think I'll start with you, Pastor. Because you're the one who has written this book whose title is Your Life, Your Thinking.
Yeah.
What inspired you to write this book?
Well, at some point I was looking at people and I noticed there was a disconnect somewhere. So I tried just to make some observations. So, because for me, what I normally do, I know I'm a pastor.
Yes.
But I tell people I have an eclectic approach to issues. So I look at what the Hindu is doing, what the Muslim is doing, what the atheist is doing. And so you try to get what's common.
Yes.
First you look at that at all of us as human beings. And so you ask yourself, okay, what is working for this person that is not working for this one?
Yes.
So that's when I discovered when it comes to the issues of our mind, it's common in all of us, regardless of what religion you subscribe to.
We all have a mind.
We all have a mind. And,
Unlike animals, or?
Yeah, they also have a mind.
Do they think, or are they just programmed to just be
that's why
instinct?
They're trained, but their mind, what can I say? It's programmed. You know, ours, you can actually choose.
Yes.
But for animals, even if there's a choice, it's still within the program.
Yes.
You know, but for you, you can choose. You can say to even if
I
you
can
have
go
to
out of the box.
Yeah, you can go out of the box. Animals, the only way animals can go out of the box is when they are trained.
Yes.
So it's like we are introducing a software.
Yes.
So for me, I come from the point of all of us, when God created us, at that particular time, we were all human beings. We were
Yes.
all His creation. So when He gave us the mind, He didn't say, I'm going to give you a mind because you're Christian, and I will not give this guy a mind because he's a Muslim.
No, everybody got a mind.
Everyone has a mind. So I was coming from that point, and I was trying to see, okay, what's common in all of us? Why is it that in some people they have issues, and with some people they seem to have everything figured out? So that's when I discovered, the mind. So I was like, okay. So as I looked at it, I was like, I need to delve into this thing and just try and show people how the mind really determines what we become. So that's really what pushed me to write the book.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool. At least that's a good introduction, and we'll talk more about the book later. But I want the viewers to get to know a little bit about the ladies who are in studio with us today. And I'll start with Dosila. That's a very unique and lovely name, by the way.
Thank you.
And you say that you're a self-love blogger, authenticity
blogger,
Uh-huh.
and life coach.
I love those words, self-love and authenticity. I really, really love authenticity. So tell me, how did you want to be that when you were young?
No.
Okay, I'm not saying you're old. Let me just tell us a little bit
didn't
about
hear
your
you.
early life. Yeah, like, where did you grow up? Which schools did you go to?
Well, I grew up in Nairobi. Neighborhood, I would say Eastlands. Yeah.
Just like me.
Yeah. Eastlands. I went to Unity Primary School, then I went to State House Girls High School. Then I finished off at Kenyatta University.
What did you study there at KU?
At KU, I did English literature. I actually did a degree in education.
That explains your writing, because blogging is writing.
Is writing,
That's right,
basically.
okay.
Yeah, so I thought I wanted to teach about verbs and pronouns.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Doing things. Verbs are doing things.
and the kids there. And I was like, I really want to talk to these students about more.
Yeah. Like that. Like, knowledge is good, but I want to offer more.
I want to offer more. So I decided to actually just take some time off of it and just try to find myself and find what I actually really like.
Yeah.
So that's when I decided. Before that, I was already blogging, and I was blogging about me, about my life, about relationships and all of that.
Yeah.
But then again, I realized I wasn't being authentic. So I started a blog called That Girl Relatable.
That Girl Relatable.
Yes.
And it's, okay, so people, you can go and look for her.
Yeah, That Girl Relatable, and just talks about self-love, loving ourselves as women, and for men as well. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a man in the house. Yes. And that's sensitive.
Yeah, we're not giving them out.
But self-love, why isn't that like a common feature with men so much? You know, self-love is a conversation that is always a lot about, talked about by women.
Yeah.
Do men just generally love themselves?
No, for us, we are visionaries.
Yes.
So for me, it is achievement. So I don't care. You see, even me at times, I'm like, okay, at some point I'll wake up and I'll be like, okay, and I'll be told your shirt has creases. And I'm like, who
Big
cares?
deal.
Who cares?
Like you tell a lady that in the morning at the office, her day is ruined.
Yeah.
In fact, the whole day she'll be seeing that crease. And then now, because she saw that one crease, she now see others. She's like, oh my God, my dress is super crease. But for you, you're like,
I was like, at the end of the day, I'm like,
Yes.
Moving
on.
We will see what talks. We will see what talks. Yeah, so for us, it's more visionary. We are creatures of achievement. So
Yeah.
these small things. You see, like for us, you see ladies, you will do a hairstyle today.
yes.
And then tomorrow, you will see a lady with a different hairstyle. And by Saturday,
Usha change.
Usha change.
Yep, that's me.
But for us,
Moving on up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Me, I wake up, I get my shave, I get my
And
beard
it's a style
trimmed,
like all your
and I
life.
am done. And I am done.
And another funny thing about men, you see one shirt which is nice, it's color white. You buy 5.
Yes.
Like that, no, white.
Just
like,
one.
That is so boring,
I know,
We're a
right?
fashion. That's not the topic of today. Now, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a brand and image consultant.
Yes, that's actually my topic all the time.
I know. Yes.
With my clients, that's my topic all the time.
How did you become that?
I actually have a background in fashion design.
Nice.
Yes. After high school, what I studied was fashion design.
Exciting career.
It is a very exciting career. And back then, I was also a model.
Wow.
I was like this. So I was modeling.
They're modeling even now.
Now you're 3D. So
before you were 2D.
Oh, 1G.
Okay.
Yeah. So back then, that was my my thing. But even before I went to college to study fashion design, I was doing that. My mom does that today.
Okay.
So I sort of like grew up in a house where
that was the thing.
That was the thing.
And
yeah. My dad
it.
is an electrical designer, engineer, but designing also. And then my mom is a fashion designer.
Yeah.
So I wasn't taught to stitch, just taught myself.
Yeah, a lot of creativity.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I grew up very creative. I'm that girl who said poems, who was dancing, who was doing the Indian dance, and I was the only African. So I'm very creative, yeah. And so going to fashion seemed very natural, came very naturally for me. And I love clothes, I love shoes. So that one also just seemed to tie in together. But as I continued with my career, I realized more customers are coming to me as a fundi.
Yes.
Yeah, they bring pictures and
I saw this outfit.
Yeah, back then when I was starting, okay, it's Kitambo, we didn't have like pictures and selfies. They were cutting out pictures.
The way you look young.
Anyway,
but now we know. I know. For sure, your thinking is working for you.
So they bring me these pictures to make, and I started feeling like I'm wasting myself. I cannot be creative.
Yeah, because
I'm always copying somebody else. Yeah,
yes.
I did lots of runways and fashion shows for clothes for them, but it wasn't as much as now.
Okay.
Yeah, it was still very early on in the country, and people were just beginning to embrace it. Right now, it's actually very good and easier for other designers to penetrate. So I got really tired, and I felt like I'm not achieving anything.
Yes.
And so I stopped.
Okay.
So when I stopped, I just stayed home, and I couldn't stay. I said to stop Nizai.
You got married into the family.
No, I was still doing it then, but I decided, I was to niache Nizai. And then after I finished, I decided,
Nizai?
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
I decided, no, I need to do something. I can't just sit in the house. And then I always knew I hated the norms. I'm that kind of a girl who, if everyone is doing it, I just won't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because everyone is doing it, I will not do it. So I've always wanted to inspire. I've always wanted to change. I wanted to just make people think and see things differently like I saw them.
Yeah.
So that's how I started learning about branding and just helping people and organizations to bring their best selves out.
Okay.
But not necessarily copying somebody else, just being authentic to themselves.
Okay, cool. That word again, authentic.
Yes. Yeah. You can't be different without thinking authenticity.
It's true, that's true. Faith,
Yes.
over to you now. You're very multi-talented because you're an entrepreneur and you're also in music.
True.
So which came before which? I think music. Did you start to sing when you were young, much younger?
Yeah, when I was 8 years.
8 years, wow.
Yes. I used to sing in our church. Yeah, so music has been me all through.
Yes.
But then, of course, it's not the first thing you think when you're thinking about a career.
I know, and especially if you're telling your parents,
Yes.
Girl, be serious.
Yes, so I had to go through 844. I finished at KU, Fashion Design and Marketing.
At least still in the creative side of things.
Yes. Yes, so when I finished, I tarmacked for a while, looking for jobs. And I realized, well, in Kenya, fashion design is not that, unless you start your own thing.
Most people tend to start their own businesses.
Yeah. So that's what I opted for.
There are not too many fashion houses.
Not
because
too
a lot
many.
of people, we import clothes a lot. We import rather than make our own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and secondhand, you know.
And secondhand, of course. Secondhand,
Yeah. Yeah, so I started selling shoes, cosmetics. Yeah, that's how I came up with Upeo 9 World. I ran a company called Upeo 9 World.
What inspired you to come with that name, Upeo 9?
Well, Upeo means limitless.
Ah.
Yeah. So
Not
you can.
kipepeo. Kipepeo.
Kipepeo means just limitless. You can do anything under that umbrella.
Okay.
Yeah.
9.
9 is my digit. I was born on 9th, the 9th month. I will tell you the year. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
9, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the number you love.
Yeah. So wild is because I do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because I'm into shoes, cosmetics, perfumes. I do branding for clothes as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, of course, you still sing. You still
Yeah,
do
yeah.
music?
So yeah, last year after a long time of debating with myself whether to record a song or not, I came
Finally.
Yeah.
I was hoping that you've done
And
that.
finally, after your life, you're thinking.
Yes.
I was able to now get myself out of that fear zone
Okay.
and just go to the studio and record something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have recorded 2 songs. One is on YouTube. It's called Lucifer Daike. Yeah, and I thank God for
And the
Pastor
other one?
Muniu. The other one is a hymn, Count Your Blessings, done in Kamba. It's coming up soon on YouTube.
Excellent.
Yes.
So happy and excited for you.
Thank you.
You know what? We didn't let to get into the topic, and I'm so happy because even as I'm talking to you all, I can already see that the careers up to where you are right now, you've been thinking. You've been thinking. Maybe you meet a challenge, and rather than letting that challenge overwhelm you, you overcome it. And you see, that's because you're thinking. That's because you're using your mind. There's 2 things I want to differentiate here because, you know, thoughts, there are so many thoughts that come into your mind every day on a daily basis. What is the difference between a thought and a belief?
Well, what we can say is the question you've asked.
Yes.
There's what I call structured thinking, and there's what I call scattered thinking.
Okay.
So scattered thinking is where now you've said thoughts come, every thought. You're thinking you're in America, you're thinking how you pick a burger, you're thinking how you need to go home and cook. You're thinking, oh my God, I need that dress. So thoughts are scattered all over. But now there's structured thinking.
Okay.
Structured thinking is where you take a particular thought. Of course, scattered thinking will always be there.
Yeah, it's part
Yeah.
of life.
It's part of
Your
life.
mind, you know, it can't be like asleep.
Yeah,
Even when you're
yeah,
sleeping.
somebody will personally be like, I love that dress.
Yeah.
I love that car. I love that house. So all those thoughts will be there, but
Oh, so you mean when you say that it doesn't become your life?
no.
It's not that simple.
It's not that simple.
If it's that simple, I know what I'm going to be doing. People watching.
It's not that simple. So there's structured thinking, and structured thinking is where you take a single item and you work with it to the very end.
Yes.
You decide whether you're going to do it or whether you're not going to do it based on the facts, based on the information that you've interacted with.
Okay.
So belief comes now in that point where in this structured thinking you believe
Yes.
that I can actually do it.
Yeah.
Like when I want to write a book, like this particular book, Upgrade, which is about to come, it actually came out this week. I wanted to write a book.
Yes. It was a desire in you.
It was a
And I
desire.
thought, and a lot of people do have those
Yeah.
dreams.
Yeah.
So I said I want to write a book. So, and people are like, why don't you just do your life you're thinking again and just change it a little bit? Because at the time I wanted to do a book for high schoolers. We'd actually gone for a mission with Docila and her twin sister Daisy.
Oh, you have a team. Identical?
Oh, fraternal.
Ah, nice.
So in coming back, I'm like, I want to write a book about high schoolers.
Yes.
So and that thought lingered. So guys were like, why don't you just do your life you're thinking, change the language, make it a little bit easier for high schoolers? I was like, no. So but I said, I need to write a book. And that thought lingered in my head for the longest time.
It was not going.
It was not going. I wake
That
up,
was-
yeah. As I do other things, as I think about breakfast, as I think about lunch, as I think
As you
about
have
as I have my scattered thinking,
this one is not going.
this one is not going.
But how are you dealing with it? Because you see, already you've brought in the aspect of other people.
Yeah.
And I want us to take a little break and talk to Docila about, you know, when you decided you're going to quit teaching and become a blogger, self-love and authenticity blogger, did people interrupt and interfere with your decision?
Constantly. Wow. It's interesting because everyone has something to say.
Yes.
Yeah. And we have thoughts.
Yeah.
And at some point, that thought keeps lingering and lingering and lingering.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you realize that that thought outshines, it's not going away, it's louder than every other person's
Try
thought.
to turn this way in a
It's just there. And at the end of the day, your life, you're thinking, you have to literally do what is actually louder in your spirit and in your heart and in your mind. Yeah. So for me, that's just what motivated me to actually just pursue the line of work that I do. Yeah.
Okay.
So
back to you, Pastor. I just wanted to talk about the fact that people do interfere with their thoughts a lot. And sometimes there are those who do it positively, like negatively criticize you, no, positively, and then there are those who do it negatively. So here you are, you have an idea, but somebody's telling you, go off. How did you overcome that? Because those people could be very strong in your life and they're insisting.
Of course.
You were talking about this book. How did you not do the high school?
Because I felt, because I was like, okay, if I do that, I'll just have limited myself.
Yeah.
I'll just have, because for me, I love challenges. 'Cause actually, right now, apart from this one and upgrade, there's imagination. I'm actually thinking now on the 4th book. I'm actually like a restless hen.
I know.
That is about to actually, as I sleep, as I wake up, I've actually even started confessing it. I'm telling people, I need a project for 2019 because this one is done. Imagination in a month or two, it will be done. So what will I be doing for the rest of the year? Of course, apart from preaching and doing other things and coming for parties and all these things.
Yeah, you like that. We're going to talk about our after we finish.
I love fun. But so for me, I said, if I redo that, of course I can redo it, but after I have challenged myself, I have given birth to new ideas, to new concepts. So for me, what I know, you see, the Bible says that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. When you read that particular scripture, it has an element, she's an English teacher, present continuous tense. It is not just once.
Thinketh.
As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So what happens is, as you're saying, these scattered thoughts, if right now I think I want to become the president, I will definitely not become the president. But if I stick to this thought for the longest time, you are sure you'll start seeing my Facebook posts start leaning towards politics, start leaning towards leadership, comments, and very soon you'll see me in a political rally somewhere.
Exactly. All
of a sudden. Because I have held on to this particular thought. So what normally happens with our thinking, to be able to avoid the distraction, is that there has to be an element of consistency. You believe, this is what I want to do. I appreciate your ideas, but there's this thought. I want to write another book. I don't want to redo your life, you're thinking. There's this idea I have. And it's actually for me, when I started this book, actually Naomi had come to visit me. There was something we were doing. So I told her, this is this idea I have. And they're like, okay, interesting. You know how you
it was a scattered thought.
But for me, it disturbed me. Anytime I drive, anytime I walk, it was consistent. So the only difference between how, or rather a person who realizes their thoughts and a person who does not realize their thoughts is that element of consistency. So today, if I come, I have to find you thinking about being a life coach. 1 year down the line, regardless of the circumstances, I have to still find that thought there, that you're still thinking about being a life coach. And so that is how our thoughts now translate to
our reality.
Our reality.
Our life.
Our life. Because at some point, it just happens that, you know, when you're consistent and it now starts forming,
like it becoming a real thing.
Because
you know, our thoughts is abstract.
It's abstract.
But now it gets alive. And I want to talk to Faith, because Faith, you know, when you finished your uni, you looked for a job. That was a challenge that you met. And a lot of people have to deal with fear? You know, fear is a real, I don't know whether it's a thought or what, but there's that fear that comes. How did you overcome fear of failure? Because have you ever had a job, been employed? Because it's like you started business immediately.
I was employed just for a few months.
For a few months.
Yeah.
And how did you make that move? Because a lot of people who are still employed have got that consistent thought in them, but they're always trying to push it down.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you're employed, I think there's the issue of getting the monthly income. How did you overcome that and go out and start a business? Weren't you afraid you'd fail? How did you overcome the fear?
Well, I am a very strong-willed person. And these jobs that I used to get, they were just on contracts. So after a few years, I'll be out here again looking for another job.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why I decided to save up. To save up and just get capital and start something. I didn't even start big, but I had a lot of faith in myself.
That word, faith, you know, faith, fear, that's a thinking. I think it means that you used to talk to yourself.
Yeah. I have a lot of self-talk in me.
What kind of self-talk is in your head? Because you know what? I come to realize that, you know, sometimes when you see people talking to themselves in the street, they're labeled as mad.
Yeah.
Everybody talks to themselves. There are those people who verbalize, and then they're seen as though they're gone crazy.
Yeah.
But everybody has got those. It's like you're having conversations, and those conversations tend to actually determine the kind of life that you live. So what kind of self-talk were you having that really motivated you and kept you going?
Well, I think because I have been a sharp student even in school. So I was like, when I put my effort into this business, it's still going to work. There's no way, I cannot accept failure. Yeah, and I listen to a lot of inspirational messages, even from our church, from the internet. You have to constantly look for that inspiration, you know. Yeah, so I talk to myself, tell myself, you know, you're the best, you have to do this.
I like that. That's one of what I was waiting to hear. You're the best.
Yeah.
You have to do this. You can overcome. Basically, your self-talk is very encouraging.
Yeah.
It's very uplifting.
Yeah, it's because business is not easy. You find all sorts of customers. You find so many no's before you get one yes.
Have you been tempted to close? Has that thought of, I should close this because it's not working, have you had that kind of a scattered thought?
Yeah.
How come you didn't dwell on that thought? Because how is it that you're able to dwell on this thought of, I can do it, I have succeeded before, I can succeed again? Why don't you dwell on this one of, I should, maybe you've seen your neighbor closing?
I have seen many people closing. Like it's just the focus that I have and the goals that I have set for myself that I have to achieve this by a certain period of time.
So
you know?
Goals?
Yeah, I have goals because I want to go into music big. And you know, music will need a lot of resources.
It does. Just to record and even do videos, all that.
Yeah. So I have to really focus on my goal, and when these other negative thoughts come, I just brush them off. Yeah.
I like that. And you see, when you start talking about goals, Pastor, that's structured. So Naomi, you know, you also went through a rough period in your time, in your at your work, when you decided you don't want to be a copy paster. What kind of thoughts were the ones that were guiding you around that time?
Before I read the book, I didn't know I was actually in the creative thinking phase. There's one of the types of thinking is creative thinking.
Oh, there are types of thinking?
Yes. That's what we're going to talk about.
Hold that thought.
Yeah, it's creative thinking. And since creativity was innate in me, I couldn't separate it from myself. So everything I thought beyond the basic thought. Yeah. So it was...
For example?
Okay, let me remember an example. And I remember it.
It's okay. So
but like when I was working with clients, and they'd bring me these clothes to copy paste for them, I would really try and show them the benefits of adding something else and making it different.
Making it work for their body shape.
Yeah, or reducing, or try to tell them in a nice way that
that's not a good idea.
That's not the body you have, maybe for the one you're wishing.
A very slippery path.
Especially
for ladies.
I think that was my practical exercise into getting into branding consulting and train and image consulting and training. Yeah, because of that, I was dealing with that a lot. And then I would lose so many customers because they've been there for an hour trying to convince me to do an outfit. I'm convincing them what works better for them, so we shouldn't do this one. Yeah, so it was a really practical exercise for me to do that. Yes.
And so basically, it reached a point where you actually decided to stop.
Yeah, I
And
decided
we
to stop
start
it.
again.
Yes, I just decided to stop it, and I'm like, since I'm not doing this, I'm doing a lot of this one. Why don't I learn more about this? Yes, and I've always been good at public speaking. There's never been a challenge for me. Yeah, so I started practicing it, and that thought didn't go away. Yeah, and then you just find the moment you start dwelling on that particular one thing, you start acting it out, even when you don't realize it. Yeah, I just started meeting people and just telling them stuff. And you're already acting your thoughts out.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then my passion also was there, so it tangled with that one. And so it was easy to shut down this voice that was telling me to sit there and complain, and it was easy to lift this other voice that was telling me to do something about it.
It was easy.
Yeah.
Dosila, you know, you're a life coach, and you're coaching about self-love, and you're blogging about self-love and authenticity. Do you interact with people who you find have a challenge with loving themselves?
Yeah, I do, definitely. Especially with social media, and you find that the life we portray online is totally different from the life that we live. And so you want to be perceived a certain way online, but the way you live is totally different. So for me, I was like, that's really hard, first of all.
I know, I'm trying to keep up with.
Exactly.
You know, like now when I meet you, are you going to, which side of you are you going to be? You know, it's confusing, but
it's very confusing. It's slippery lines. So you find people are really struggling with that, and because actually half of the time they're online, by the time that they shut down their phones, they're feeling a certain way about themselves, because they're like, I can't keep up with all of this. So how do I just remain authentic with my life online and also just my daily go about? So how do I remain authentic? So there's a lot of people that struggle with that, and also judgment as well, because people think they want you authentic until you show up authentic.
I know. Like, no. Back to the
So, but you see, that's projecting, because then they're not comfortable with who they are first. So they can't accept anything else that is not authentic or real. So you find that sometimes when I relate back to your life you're thinking, the question is, what have you been feeding your mind? And at what point will you take responsibility and say, everything probably I've fed myself is a lie. Can I now feed myself truth?
Exactly.
Can I now talk to myself and affirm the truth that is in me? Because with the thought, you ask yourself, is this thought serving me? Is it not serving me? I like what Faith said. I brush them away. Those thoughts are not serving me, so I don't deal with them.
Exactly. And and she said that she listens to a lot of motivational talk, a lot of inspirational talk. So I think if you find that, for example, if you find that you're the kind of person who is really affected by what you see on social media, and you try to become that, what should you do? Should you maybe reduce your time there, or what are some of the tips that you can give such a person?
I'd give them very practical tips. Actually, people think they want to change, but you realize that they actually just don't want to take the steps towards actually achieving their goal or changing. So when you realize that you're online, and half of the time you need to be aware of yourself, aware of how does social media make me feel. Most people are not aware. So you find that after being online and everything, you go buy a handbag.
Exactly.
And you're like, why did I just buy a handbag?
Maybe that money was for something else. That's from your goal.
Exactly. Why did I buy a handbag? Because social media actually made me feel a certain type of way. It created a need I did not have. So basically what I'd say, if you need a day off social media, be off social media. It's fine. You're actually not missing out. You're missing out on your own life when you spend the whole day on social media.
You're missing out on you.
Exactly.
And on that note, I'd like us to take a break. Awesome. Viewers, we'll be right back. Keep it here. Thank you.
Awesome.
Call. No. Just taking the day of. Are you still there?
People have dominance over themselves. Why? Daddy, No money. Give me money. I'll buy for you. Daddy. I said, I don't have money. Hey, I know, Daddy.
Can the Ethiopian change his skin? Or the leopard its spots?
예수님이 우리의 모든 죄값을 다 지불하시기 때문에 예수님 다 이루었다라고 말씀하셨잖아요.
So Jesus paid for all the wages of our sin. That's why he could say it is finished.
Yesu alipa mshahara wa dhambi ya deni zetu lote, ndiposa akasema kwamba imekwisha.
Everyone, God is like the supercomputer.
Upendo wa Mungu ni kama hii supercomputer.
This is G Radio.
Hello guys and welcome. This is G Radio, #1 TV show, and we're coming live at GBS TV. And I'm your host, Isaac Tabitha.
I'm the co-host, Evan Tinyari. As usual, we have our DJ Echo. You can also send your views on my Instagram page at Tinyari_E.
Also, you can get me on our Facebook page as Isaac Tabitha. Thank you so much, guys.
Keep it here.
Kama ya kwanza runinga ya GBS TV inakuletea Echo Mziki. Ni show itakayokuwa inatambulisha vipaji vya ma-DJ, wasanii wenye uwezo mkubwa na madancers wenye kunyangua. Ungana nami Trouble Nyakoko pamoja na mkali wao DJ Vocus siku ya Ijumaa mida ya saa 12 hadi saa 1 jioni, na Jumamosi mida ya saa 9 hadi saa 10 ya mchana, na Jumapili mida ya saa 9 kwenye Echo Mziki live audience. Echo Mziki, hapa mziki tu.
How many of you use your real names on Facebook? Wengine ni Sweetie Pretty.
You must succeed in being an eagle and not a chicken.
I'm seeing myself owning the biggest media house in Africa. Yes, I could employ you, in fact. Yes.
All right, now it is going to another direction. But let's
when you are born and when you grow up, now you do the work. You become a person. Like the country. You understand, right? I mean, not getting a job at Kenya Power, right?
And you know what? Who you are online is exactly who you are offline. And who you are offline is who you are online.
여러 군데 가서 강연을 많이 해보는데
So I've been to many places to give lectures.
우나일레 와서 이러면
Whenever I say 우나일레 와서
눈썹으로 인사를 대답을 해.
they respond with their eyebrows.
Healing, hope, restoration. Amazing stories of real people like you who have triumphed over tragedy. Watch Turning Point International and be inspired to reach your turning point.
It really ministers to the soul of man, and as a pastor you benefit a lot because people learn and they learn how to cope with issues probably you don't even deal with in your sermons.
It's not reality TV, it's real life TV.
Hello viewers, welcome to Women's View.
What you see is what you get.
Very exciting and fun.
We grew up in a certain community and we were told this is how women are.
Everybody was coming with what they can get.
This is not a joke. You signed up for life.
Very interesting.
A woman is this. You want somebody else to do something for you that you can do for yourself.
You know what, you're doing a great job. You keep doing it.
You are going to school to become a musician. Like, seriously?
Okay, huge. The show airs every weekday from 11 a.m. to noon and is repeated every evening from 7 to 8 p.m. I look forward to seeing you there.
Hi, my name is Zawadi. At Mahanaim, I studied qualifier for the IGCSE through the Cambridge International Educational Program.
We Mahanaim International High School students enjoy extracurricular activities such as joining GBS TV Club, taekwondo, cultural dance, orchestra, swimming, foreign languages, community service, and much more. I believe this unique experience I gained here will go a long way into strengthening the future me.
The teachers and other ministers at Mahanaim spared no pain in running with us until the end of the mile, until we secured all of our goals.
And that's how I passed my IGCSE exams.
Mahanaim International High School cares about my future. Beyond our education, Mahanaim nurtures us to have bright and healthy mind so that we could become great future leaders.
Welcome back, viewers. We are so happy that you're joining us. Today we're talking about my life, my thinking. And Dosila, before we took the break, you're giving us a few tips about what to do when we notice negative things in our lives. And I think the first thing is we need to be aware. You need to be aware to listen to yourself. And there's something you said that was really interesting. You said that when you're spending so much time on social media, you're missing out on you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're giving away a lot of time to looking at pictures and looking at other people's lives, looking at what's happening elsewhere, yet you're ignoring yourself. Yeah, because we said that thinking is a very internal thing.
Yeah.
It's a very personal thing, and it requires time. Yeah, so tell us a little bit about who will I ask this? I don't know. When we look at society right now, Faith, there's a lot of negative issues that we're coming across from the young people. We're talking, there's a lot of depression, there's a lot of suicide, there's a lot of alcoholism. Are you trying to say that the real issue is our thinking? When we look at our society and we see how it is, are you saying that we have a problem with how we are thinking? I can see that Pastor is dying to answer that. We're going to get on fast. Is it a problem of our mind? Are you saying that our minds have deteriorated, or what is the problem?
Well, yeah, it's true. It's our minds. Because I tend to think that what we are feeding ourselves is the problem.
Okay.
What are you thinking about constantly? And most of us, I think it's the way we are raised. Mostly, most of the people I know that end up depressed, it's because of low self-esteem.
Yes.
They've not been affirmed enough.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to work on yourself.
Yeah. Because
you cannot wait for people to always affirm you.
Yes.
So you have to look for ways.
Yeah. And I like that you've brought that up, because you may not have the start, your start may not be very positive.
Yes.
But nevertheless, you can overcome.
You can
your
overcome.
Grades might not be perfect, especially when you're talking about KCPE and KCSE.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're so full of mchezo at that time. But now you become serious and you're like, these grades, you know, you can't go back and repeat when you're in your 30s.
Yeah.
But you know what? You need to turn things around, right?
Yes.
All right, so let me ask this, please respond.
Finally, thank you for granting me this opportunity to address the nation.
Address the nation.
Well, I think for me, as you've asked, it's definitely an issue of the mind.
Yes.
And, you know, as I said earlier, consistency gives something called identity.
Okay.
Let me give you a practical example, and then we shall use this illustration.
Yes.
You see, when we say somebody is clever, we are simply saying consistently in school, in a school setup, they've become either number 1, number 2, number 3 for a long period of time.
Yes.
So that's why we've given them that identity.
Because of their consistency.
Because of their consistency. So when we come to our internal setup, the consistency of the thoughts we embrace, they give us identity.
Okay.
That identity somehow becomes like what you'd call a frame or a form.
Yes.
You see this glass, whatever substance we put in it, it will take the shape of this glass.
It will.
Whether it is water, whether it is tea, whether it is sand, even if we put air in here, it will take the shape of this glass.
Yes.
So our thinking mold creates a mold.
Yes.
It creates a mold. So anything about us
will take that shape.
Will definitely take that mold.
Yes.
And so that is what we are seeing with society.
Yes.
There's a mold. There's a mold that is out there. And unfortunately, that mold consists of shallowness, negativity, so competition. So you find that, actually, human beings are very interesting. I can't stand you being smart.
Wow. I know, but it's about comparison. Like even if you're down, so long as I'm a little bit less dumber, it's okay.
It is okay. And you see, that's the whole problem. So you find, as they're talking about being authentic, that at some point you must there was a time I would normally say I might not be the most handsome man on the face of the earth, but depending on they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But for me, if there's one thing I know I have is a beautiful mind.
Yes, but there's that word but, and I'm trying to interrupt you because guess what? We don't have time. So everyone needs to give a parting shot which is very short. But I like that. It's a but.
You have to find a but.
You have to counteract.
There's all this negativity, but there has to be something good you like about yourself. And for me, I would encourage, let it not be something physical, because if it is your face, you will go, there will be an accident, and then, God forbid, but you'll have a scar. And then something will happen, you'll be... So, whatever positive you're looking for, it has got to be internal. You see, I love, I know we're out of time, but I normally love the late Steve Hawkins. Steve Hawkins got to a place, he was so sick, he could not even talk. He had a voice prompter. But because he knew, I have a mind, as in he could basically do nothing, but his mind was still active. And to his death, he was one of the most productive people. When you look at his net worth, and considering this is a person who was in a wheelchair, can't even have a conversation. So if you have to have a conversation with him, you have to like send questions earlier so that the answers are keyed in the voice prompter.
I know that it can be prompted. Thank you so much. That part, those are two parting shots. You have to have a but, counteract the negative thoughts. And then let what you're so sure about, what you're so excited about yourself, let it be something internal. Not something physical. Parting shot, 1 second each. Rosila?
Basically what I'd say to anyone watching this in terms of your thoughts being able to give you direction, you have to ask yourself, is this thought serving me? Is it serving the goal that I have in my mind and that consistent thought that I have, or that consistent dream that I've had? So you just ask yourself, is it serving me? Is it pushing me towards the goal? No, it's not. So you dismiss the thought and you move forward. So pretty much.
We need to have another show. So that we can have the parting shots of the two. Viewers, our time is up, but remember, consistency breeds identity. So what you're consistently thinking about is going to become your identity. So if you're consistently thinking positive, you will find that your life is positive. If you're consistently putting yourself down, you will find that your life is negative, and you, instead of going up and meeting your goals, you're going to be digressing and going down. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.